WM-Form training. We're going to do a sub-design area design. Okay, so we select our top field, the field name up here. We right click, hit new design, and hit sub-design areas. Okay, we got sub-design areas here. I like my background image. I click that to get it on. And now this is just a personal preference. Some of these things that I tell you are personal preferences, but this is how it works for me. So I hover the mouse over the edge of the field and I right click and I delete custom. I do that because I don't want that field getting in my way. Okay, if you notice over here on the right, there's nothing here now, no design areas. So we have to create design areas. Okay, first off, we're going to create us two fields, two areas, and we're going to come up here to my add, I think this says add subdesign area, so we're going to select it, and we're going to, since we're just doing the whole field, we're going to hit custom. Now level pad, pipe bed, tail ditch, topsoil, those all work and you can play with those, but for this video we're just going to do custom so that video doesn't get very lengthy. Okay, so we're going to select a custom area. We're going to come down here. We're just going to follow this main ridge, and evidently it took a command that I didn't really tell it to. Oh, come on now. Have to excuse this. Alright, we'll go here to add custom, and looks like my mouse is clicking somewhere where I'm not. Okay, custom, there we go. Come across here to our high, so we come down our ridge, and I like to make these as straight as possible, so sometimes I'll just kind of do something like that, average between the two. Okay, and whenever you get here close, you can hit complete. Now, one of the reasons I delete the field, the boundary around the field first, is so that I can draw these lines outside the border. If I didn't, that other custom field would mess with the design. Okay, so now I have custom 1. Alright, I want to go ahead and include the rest of this field. If you did not want to include the rest of this field, you would draw a exclusion zone around the rest of the field. Okay, we want to include it. Alright, I want to select field again, or select add subdesign area. We'll go grab another custom design, and we will jump onto these red dots here, and we'll draw that line directly on top of the old one, previous one. Okay, now again we'll just go select the rest of the field area, and we will select complete. Okay, now we've got all of the total of our field enclosed in a design area. Okay, we got custom 1, custom 2. Now from my land leveling best fit, I come up with a 321.98 degrees. Okay, let's just go ahead and take that degree in my custom areas. Let's put that orientation as 320 just to clean that up. Again, here's this spacing, same thing as before. The spacing is a grid sampling of how many triangles it calculates within a grid. Okay, so we're going to, calculation purposes, we'll put it on 35. Now when you have 120, 300 and some acres, it gets long and wearisome if you're always calculating on 25 feet. It just takes forever for it to calculate. That also depends on the speed of your computer. Okay, so this 33 acres, 35 feet is what we're going to go with. Alright, custom 2 is up top because I drew it last. That's why it's up top. Custom 1 is down beneath over here. Custom 1, 320 degrees. I want my grade to fall at this kind of an angle here, so we want a minimum fall of 1/10. We will put 1 over 100. This is the smoothing factor. The smoothing factor, 1 over 10 is the least smoothing, and 1 over 300 is the most smoothing. Downhill direction, 1 over 100 generally works. Most cases. I rarely move that off of 100 in a downhill scenario. Our cross slope is a different story. Cross slope will be 1 over 300 about all the time. Okay. Cross slope, minimum and maximum. This is a little bit different than our irrigation. Minimum and maximum is right and left. Okay, so we have a minimum of, and I'm going to put a negative in here because I want a minimum as the total opposite of this 390 degrees to the 320 degrees. So I'm going to put a negative 0.15. And then in the maximum, which is the other way, I'm going to put in 1/10. Okay, so then we'll go 1 over 300. Okay, we can set a minimum and a maximum elevation. I don't use those because generally in this type of scenario we're not importing or exporting dirt. If you have to have a minimum and maximum elevation, you will have to figure import or export. Also the same thing with the cut and fill. So this video we're just going to do balance just to get a basic overview on how the program works. Okay, so custom 2, we will select this to get rid of the fields of custom 1 so we don't mess with those. We'll get into custom 2. Alright, now we will notice that we need grade the opposite way from this line to get the drainage. If we want one drainage area or one pad line, we'll need to do the opposite grade. Okay, so our main slope, if we was to put the same constraints in the main slope, it would grade the custom 2 to the center, which is not where we want it. We want it drained to the opposite side. So what we'll have to do is reverse that grade. Now this changes to minimum. So here we'll need a minus 0.15. Okay, 1 over 100. And the cross slope is the same now as it is in custom 1. Negative 1.5, positive 1.5. So cross slope, negative 0.15, 1/10 by 1/10, 1 over 300. Alright. Again, the elevation, cut, fill, min, max stuff, I'm going to leave all blank. I'm not going to worry about our pad design, pad, export dirt in this video. Okay. So we're going to go ahead, now that we have all of our grades in there, we're going to go ahead and calculate it. Alright. While that calculation is running, I'm going to do a option 2 here. We're going to hit OK, and we're going to take all of our extra grades out, all of our cross slope, which is extra in my opinion. Okay, in this training it's extra. A lot of the times it's very necessary. Okay, so we're going to do that, we're going to do that, and now we're going to select calculate again, and it will calculate this design. Alright, and we will just see what the difference is. Okay, everything here is the same as the irrigation. If you've watched those videos, the smoothing factor is the same, 1 over 10 being the least, 1 over 300 being the most, and yeah, okay, so just another thing here on my subdesign 1, or my initial design here, we're going to jump back over here onto it, and we're going to talk about cross slope just a little bit. Cross slope, negative 1.5 and positive 1.5. So the positive is left and right. So a negative 1.5, we want to go to 90 degrees to 320. Okay, and then the positive side will be this way. So it's left and right. So I don't want any more than 1/10 to the left of the line. I don't want any more than 1/10 to the right of the line. But since our orientation arrow shows this way, then we'll have to put in a negative to get that to calculate correctly. Okay, you could say that, well, why doesn't it do left and right without the negative? Well, I wasn't on the design team, so it's just the complications of designing a program like this. Okay, so now we've got subdesign areas with we've got maps here, so we can go look and see what we've done. Now, our initial design, we've got 1/10 right, 1/10 left, and across the opposite side there, we've basically got a turtleback in the field. Okay, 473 yards to the acre. All right, now that is a variable grade design. You can see that this here is about straight, and then this here turns a little bit. Whenever you start seeing these grade lines, these proposed elevations be straight like this, that probably means that you are up against your constraint of your cross slope constraint. Okay, so 473 with our 1/10 cross slope constraint, you go to option 2. 361, you notice that we took out the cross slope grade. So we go into general, we go to proposed surface. You see how our cross slope, if we was rowing this up on 320 degrees, or our rows, we would have water running sideways in here, so it probably wouldn't work. Okay, now this 361, of course, is less dirt than the 473, about 100 yards, a little more than 100 yards. Okay, so if this other field looked okay, we'd be like, oh good, let's just adjust custom 2. So we come in here to custom 2, and again we would start putting in our grades. Okay, so I know that negative 1/10 is 473, so let's just go negative 0.3 and just see how that works. 0.3, we will calculate, and then if we want, that's in custom 2, if we want to go ahead and do something that's a little bit less than 3/10, we'll go ahead and copy the thing. So we'll copy it again. Right here is the 0.03. We'll change that to 0.2. And we'll change this top number to negative 0.2. Okay. And we'll calculate that again. Alright. So we've got some calculations going on here. I see that I want to rename this design, the initial design. We want to rename it as option 1, so we go down there and click on it. We right click on that, and then we'll rename it to option 1. Alright, we hit OK. Pops it up as option 1 now. Okay. So 6 seconds left in option 2. We jump back over there onto it. We wait for the design to change. Creating surfaces. This is where it's creating those reports, those printable reports up top. Alright, now we've got 371 versus 369, I think is what it was. And you have a little bit changed here, but not too terrible much. Okay, so we've about got option 3 done here. And then we start noticing up here on custom 1, I don't really like how much this is falling this way. Okay, so let's do an option 4 and start slowing that grade down. Okay, we hit OK, option 4, and that's in custom 1. So custom 1, we don't want, this will be the negative side now, so it's on the right hand side, so we'll need a negative point, let's just say 1.5, just to see how that looks in there. Okay, and then we'll go to 0.15 on the maximum. Okay, we can go now. We can look at this option 3 here. Let's put on our proposed contours, and now we see that here we're not having near as big a problem with that side fall. So we kind of like that. So option 2, we'll just put in our -2 and 0.2 here. -0.2, 0.2, and then calculate. Okay, that's in our option 4. Okay, let's go back and look at this. So we see here we've got option 2 in our custom 2. We've got a -0.2, +0.2. Okay, in option 2 we've got -0.3 and +0.3. So you can tell the difference in the way these lines are coming back, well, on option 2 versus option 3. Okay, and this is all going to depend on how straight a fall you want, and then that's 1/10. So you can kind of see the difference between option 1, option 2, and option 3 there. Okay, this here really should be like that, and this should be like that, and then everything would look the same. So option 1 there, option 2, option 3, and then our option 4 is about finished. We look over here, we turn our proposed on, proposed contours. Oh, we see now here in custom 1, they are straight. They're nowhere near as curved as they are in option 1, 2, 2, and 3. And we say, oh man, yeah, we like that. That's what we're going to go for. Okay, so 464 yards to the acre. You come up here to cut fill. You select your background imagery if you want it, and you start printing off your reports. Okay, here's your proposed background imagery, summary. Next thing on a summary with your subdesign area, you can come in here and you can start looking at custom 1. It's a 17-acre area. It's 277 yards an acre. Your custom 2 is 657 yards an acre. Of course, import, export, you don't have anything there. This is number 17 yards of export. It brought that in just to make all the calculation come out perfect. Okay, you can move that dirt in that field and you won't never notice that right there. So be sure when you're done with all of your editing, designing, be sure that you save it. Save the workspace. Okay. Now, I have had big tracts of land in here, 400 or 500 acres, where you have 7 or 8 or 10 custom design areas, calculating all of those, and then the spacing number is very important there, and being sure that whenever the customer, depends on what the customer has in hand of what you need to be working on, what the customer wants, type of deal. Just this saving workspace is very important. If you don't save it, you're going to lose it. So that is the basics of the grade situation on the custom areas and the smoothing factors.